With Aaron Rodgers now in the AFC East, SNY's Connor Rogers joined me to break down what Rodgers to the Jets means for both the Patriots and New York moving forward. Connor, we could also find you on SNY for Jets game day coverage on Sundays. They pick after the Pats, and also some big news for you. Aaron Rodgers now coming to the AFC East. What does Aaron Rodgers joining the Jets mean for their power rankings in the conference and also in the division, and of course the league as a whole?
Well, I think they have a lot to prove still. You're not just going to throw the Jets ahead of the Chiefs with Mahomes and the Bengals with Burrow. And I know Jets fans won't like hearing this, but even the Bills with Josh Allen because of what they've been able to do in the AFC East in recent years. And yes, the Jets beat them at home with Zach Wilson last year. So the expectation should be competing for the AFC East. But you want to see it. You want to see Rodgers mesh well with this Jets offense. But I think the biggest takeaway, George, is that for the first time in a very long time for the New York Jets, the foot is on the gas pedal to win football games. How many times, how many rebuilds have the Jets tried to go through with a quarterback selected in the top 5 of the draft, or with a veteran quarterback that's kind of a bridge guy that you're waiting for the next guy? They haven't had a lot of skill talent. They haven't been very productive on offense. After they hit last year's draft out of the park with Garrett Wilson, Sauce Gardner, and Breece Hall, they felt like the missing ingredient is now the quarterback. They have that in Rodgers. So you're going to see the Jets operate with a sense of urgency that we have not seen maybe since 2010.
Way to DVOA the Jets, a top 3 defense in the NFL. For the Patriots, way to DVOA number 1 defense, in the NFL last season. So where does this put the Patriots' ceiling? Because now all of a sudden, it looks like they're the worst team in the division, in a conference, in a division with Josh Allen, Tua Tagovailoa, and that Dolphins defense. Now the Jets, Aaron Rodgers, 15 months removed from an MVP season.
Well, I think with New England, something that you can always rely on to get you wins in the NFL is playing good defense, running the football, and having good special teams. And then the rest of it can supplement the fact that you might not have one of the high-octane passing attacks like the Chiefs, like the Bengals, like the Bills. But the question for me is, when you look at that, does this team have enough overall talent to make a wild card spot and try to sneak into the playoffs? And that falls on the shoulders of 2 people in my eyes, and Bill O'Brien and Mac Jones. Because, listen, the defense is going to be well coached. It's Bill Belichick's defense, and this defense has talent. You don't worry about that. The special teams always comes into play. I love Ramondre Stevenson in the backfield, and this offensive line should be fine, I think, if they get working downhill in the run game again. But how handicapped, how limited is this passing attack, not just from Mac Jones, but the fact that it doesn't really have a lot of star talent catching the ball through the air? And that goes back to our conversation at the top here with the draft. How much pass catching talent can you add through the draft that not only has a long-term effect, but makes an instant impact? So I didn't think it was a great year for Mac Jones. I also didn't think New England set him up for success. So that will depend. That's what's going to decide if New England not only competes in this division, but if they could sneak into one of those extra wild card spots as well. Because when you look at the teams that made the playoffs, it's simple. You got to be able to throw the football. It's not just the Chiefs. It's not just the Bengals and the Bills. You look at the ascending quarterbacks in this league that snuck in, whether it's Herbert with the Chargers, Trevor Lawrence with Jacksonville as well. We know what the Ravens can do when Lamar Jackson is under center, and maybe they'll figure that out sometime soon. So that's the big variable I have for the Patriots.
All those quarterbacks in the AFC, like you mentioned, including Lamar Jackson. We saw at times last season the offensive line just a liability for the Patriots, no matter what was going on with Matt Patricia calling the plays. PNC Bank, helping to make banking easier.